How's it going, everybody? C-RadTV back here in our video. So, of course, another week of NFL football, which means it's now time for the NFL Week 17 picks. Real quick before we begin, now, I do hope that everyone had a happy Christmas this year and a great holiday season. I do also want to wish everybody a new year, since this is the last week of 2023. So I want to wish everyone a happy new year for 2024, and hopefully the new year brings you more joy. But yeah, of course, we're down to the final 2 weeks in the NFL season, as now we're right in the thick of the playoff race, as we will find out who entered the Week 18 Judgment Week with a shot at the playoffs, and who will be sent to Elimination Station and not be fined for Week 18. So, of course, last week with my picks, I went 10-6 with my picks, so my record for this year goes to 152-88. And, of course, last week we had two teams clinch playoff spots, and those being the Detroit Lions and the Miami Dolphins, with Detroit clinching their first division title in 30 years, so hell yeah to that. And we had two teams eliminated from playoff contention, and those being the Los Angeles Chargers and the New York Giants. So that means now our eliminated team total gets to 8 teams, so we have 10 imposters still at large. But yeah, with all that said, let's take a look at this week's game and let's see how it all fares out. So, starting off, we have our Thursday night game, which will be the New York Jets and the Cleveland Browns playing up in Cleveland. And for this game, Cleveland, they can clinch a playoff spot to this week, as Cleveland can clinch with a win. They can also clinch with a loss from either Pittsburgh, Buffalo, or Jacksonville. And they can also clinch with losses from Houston and Indy. Yeah, I got the Browns winning this game. I have Cleveland winning over the Jets. I got Cleveland winning 21-20. Give me the Browns by 1 point over the Jets. And I think the Browns will punch their ticket to the playoffs and will return to the playoffs for the first time since 2020. Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to have a year where both Detroit and Cleveland both make the playoffs. What a weird year it is, huh? Next up, we have our Saturday night game, which is the Detroit Lions and the Dallas Cowboys playing up in Dallas. Of course, both teams are locked into playoffs, but both teams still fighting for seeding and all that, since Dallas can still win the NFC East, while Detroit still has a shot at the number 1 seed. And of course, this game is also the Jimmy Johnson Dallas Cowboy Ring of Honor induction night. I don't know how the hell Dallas are 6-point favorites in this game. That's fucking absurd. But I feel like Detroit always plays better as the underdog. Plus, I should mention here, Dan Campbell is 4-0 against teams at least 5 games above 500. Plus, the Lions are 4-0 in primetime games this year. So I think everything adds up to Detroit. I'm going to take Detroit in my upset of the week. So yeah, upset of the week, I'm taking the Lions on the road in Dallas. I got Detroit 26-19. Give me Detroit by 7 on the road in my upset of the week to spoil the Cowboys' Jimmy Johnson Ring of Honor induction night. All right, to our next game. New England Patriots, Buffalo Bills playing in Buffalo. The Buffalo Bills, they can clinch a playoff spot this week. They can clinch with a win plus a loss from Pittsburgh and a loss from either Cincinnati or Jacksonville. They can also clinch with losses with a win plus losses from Pittsburgh, Indianapolis, and Houston. They can also clinch with a win plus losses from Cincinnati and Jacksonville. And they can also clinch with a win plus losses from Cincinnati, Indianapolis, and Houston. I got the Bills winning this game over New England. New England is just an absolute mess right now. Plus, Bill Belichick, he's going to be gone in 2 weeks anyway. So yeah, for all the Patriot fans that want Belichick gone, don't worry. You'll get your wish in 2 weeks. But yeah, I got the Bills winning this one 20-19. But give me Buffalo by 1. And Buffalo keeps their shot at the AFC East alive next week. As yeah, I think next week, I think Week 18 will be a battle between Buffalo and Miami for the AFC East title. And I feel like the Buffalo-Miami game is going to be the Sunday night game next week. So yeah. Next game, Atlanta Falcons, Chicago Bears playing in Chicago. Both teams fighting to keep their seasons alive. As the Chicago Bears, they're eliminated with a loss. They're also eliminated with wins from Seattle and either the LA Rams, Green Bay, or Minnesota, whoever wins the Sunday night game later. The spoiler alert. And they can also be eliminated with a win from the Rams and whoever wins the Sunday night game between Green Bay and Minnesota. While Atlanta, they could be eliminated with a loss and a Tampa Bay win. They can also be eliminated with wins from Tampa Bay, the LA Rams, and Seattle. So effectively, there's a way where both teams can be eliminated. So effectively, the loser of this game can be eliminated, and the winner fights for a playoff spot next week. Yeah, I'm not buying it on the Bears. I got the Falcons on the road 20-18. Give me Atlanta by 2. And I think Atlanta keeps their slim playoff hopes alive. And I think Chicago Bears, I think their season will end in elimination. But hey, Chicago, at least you still potentially have a shot at the first overall pick. Later, we'll talk about that later, though. All right, now our next game. Las Vegas Raiders, Indianapolis Colts playing up in Indianapolis. The Raiders, they could be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss. Regardless of what happens in this game, Indianapolis is guaranteed to be fighting for a playoff spot next week no matter what. They can't be eliminated this week, and they can't clinch this week. So yeah, but Indianapolis, they control their own destiny these last 2 weeks. Yeah, I feel like as much as the Raiders have been a really good story with Antonio Pierce, I feel like it crashes and burns this week. I got Indianapolis at home in this one. I got the Colts 25-24. Give me Indianapolis by 1, and I think the Raiders will be eliminated this week. So yeah, I got the Colts winning. I have the Raiders being officially eliminated. All right, to our next game. Los Angeles Rams, New York Giants playing up in MetLife this week. The LA Rams, they can clinch a playoff spot this week with a win and a Seattle loss. I got the Rams winning this one against the Giants. Also, I should mention for the Giants, Tommy DeVito is benched. Tyrod Taylor is now in at quarterback. Yeah, Rams should win this game, no problem. I got the Rams winning 23-18. Give me the Rams by 5 over the New York Giants. And I think the Rams, I don't think they'll clinch a spot this week, but I think the Rams will set themselves up pretty well for Week 18 next week with their season on the line. So yeah, at this point, the Rams control their own destiny this week. These last 2 weeks, if they win. If they win, the Rams control their own destiny entering Week 18. All right, to our next game. Arizona Cardinals, Philadelphia Eagles playing in Philadelphia. Philadelphia, they can clinch the NFC East this week with a win and a Dallas loss Saturday night. Yeah, I got the Eagles in this one. I think the Eagles were able to recover somewhat against the Giants last week. I think the Eagles used the game against Arizona to get back on track. I have Philadelphia winning this one over Arizona 21-20. I think the Cardinals will keep it close with the Eagles. But yeah, give me Philadelphia by 1 in this one. And I think for the first time since the mid-2000s, I think we will have a back-to-back NFC East champion. Plus, at the start of the year, I said the Eagles would win the NFC East and go back-to-back. And I'm sticking with that prediction. I got the Eagles winning and clinching the NFC East this week. All right, to our next game. New Orleans Saints, Tampa Bay Buccaneers playing up at Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay can rock up the NFC South, a.k.a. Tank Division, with a win. The Saints are eliminated from playoff contention with a loss. I got the Saints winning this one. Tampa Bay's been riding a pretty good hot streak, but the last time we had a Tank Division situation and went all the way down went down to the final week of the season. I think it will happen again. I think the Saints will win and keep their slim playoff hopes alive, not only in the division, but possibly the wild card as well. So I got the Saints winning 23-19 against Tampa Bay. Give me the Saints by 4 over Tampa Bay. And I think the NFC South will go down to Week 18. All right, to our next game. San Francisco 49ers, Washington Commanders playing in Washington. San Francisco, they can clinch the number 1 seed in the NFC this week. And they can clinch it with the win plus losses from Philadelphia and Detroit. Well, I have Philadelphia and Detroit both winning, so that already takes the fun out of that. But I do have the 49ers winning because for the Commanders, I should mention Sam Howell has been benched. Jacoby Brissett is now in a QB. Yeah, I got the 49ers in this one. I think they bounce back after that blowout loss to the Ravens on Monday Night Football on Christmas. I think the 49ers bounce back against Washington, and I think they get the win, 24-19, San Francisco by 5. And I think San Francisco, in terms of the number 1 seed in the NFC, I think they enter next week controlling their own destiny, but I think the number 1 seed for the NFC will go all the way down to week 18 next week, to the final week of the year. All right, to our next game. Carolina Panthers, Jacksonville Jaguars playing in Jacksonville. Jacksonville, they can clinch the AFC South this week with a win, plus losses from Indianapolis and Houston. Well, I have Indianapolis winning this week, so that kind of takes that elimination scenario out. But yeah, I do think Jacksonville wins this game. I mean, for Carolina, though, they're fighting to not have the first overall pick clinch, because I believe in a law. I believe Carolina... if Carolina loses this game, then Chicago clinches the first overall pick, since Chicago has Carolina's first round pick this year from Carolina trading up last year in the draft for Bryce Young. See, I got Jacksonville winning this game. I got Jacksonville winning 22-19 over Carolina. Give me the Jags by 3 over Carolina, but I think the AFC South will go all the way down to week 18. And I think Chicago will clinch the first overall pick this year in the draft. Now, does Chicago trade that pick again or not is yet to be seen if they do clinch it this week. But yeah, give me Jacksonville by 3, and I think the AFC South goes down to week 18. All right, now to our next game. This game, this is our game of the week. And this game is potentially for the number 1 seed in the AFC. Miami Dolphins, Baltimore Ravens playing in Baltimore. Miami can clinch the AFC East with a win or a Buffalo loss. While on the other flip side, Baltimore, they can clinch the AFC North with a win or a Cleveland loss. And Baltimore, they can also clinch the number 1 seed with a win. So, if Baltimore wins this game, then the road to Super Bowl 58 will go through Baltimore this year. So yeah, Baltimore-Miami, this game is potentially for the 1 seed. If Miami wins, then one battle for the 1 seed in the AFC goes down to week 18. I mean, the Ravens, they've looked like a complete team this year. I know Miami was fresh off beating a team above 500 last week, but that was the Cowboys, and the Cowboys are overrated as hell. But yeah, I got the Ravens winning this one over Miami. I got Baltimore shutting Miami down. Plus, Jalen Waddle was potentially out for the year, which that's a big blow to that Dolphins offense. I got Baltimore winning 24-16. Give me the Ravens by 8 over the Dolphins in this one. And I think Baltimore will wrap up the AFC North and the number 1 seed in the AFC this year. And I think the road to Super Bowl 58 goes through Baltimore, Maryland this year. While for Miami, I think they will battle the Bills and probably Sunday Night Football next week for the AFC East title. But yeah, give me Baltimore by 8 to wrap up the AFC North and the number 1 seed in the AFC. Alright, to our next game, a battle in the AFC South. Tennessee Titans, Houston Texans playing in Houston. Houston's fighting to keep their season alive. As Houston, they could be eliminated this week with a loss, plus wins from Indianapolis, Jacksonville, and Buffalo. They can also be eliminated with a loss plus wins from Indianapolis and Jacksonville, and losses from Pittsburgh and Denver. So yeah, some pretty interesting scenarios to say the least. But yeah, Houston fighting to keep their season alive. Tennessee's already eliminated. Yeah, I got Houston winning this week. I got the Texans winning 24-21. Give me Houston by 3, plus I think C.J. Stroud will be back in this week. So yeah, give me the Texans by 3. And I think Houston keeps the AFC South alive, and they keep their slim playoff hopes alive. I think Houston's playoff fate will come down to week 18. But yeah, give me the Texans by 3 in this one to keep their season alive. All right, next game. Pittsburgh Steelers, Seattle Seahawks played in Seattle. Now, Pittsburgh, they could be eliminated from playoff contention this week with a loss, plus wins from Buffalo, Indianapolis, and Houston, and a loss from Denver. They can also be eliminated with a loss, plus the wins from Buffalo, Indianapolis, Houston, and Kansas City, and a loss from Jacksonville. They can also be eliminated with a loss, plus wins from Buffalo, Indianapolis, and Jacksonville, and a loss from Denver. Now, for Seattle, even though it's not on the screen, there is a scenario where Seattle can clinch a playoff spot this week. But for Seattle to clinch, they need to win this game. And then they need the Sunday night game between Green Bay and Minnesota to end in a tie. Yeah, that scenario is not happening. As much as I hate Green Bay and Minnesota, I don't see that scenario happening. But yeah, Seattle wins. So yeah, regardless if Seattle wins or loses this week, their playoff fate goes down to week 18 next week. But they can enter the final week of the season with a chance to control their own destiny like they did a year ago. While Pittsburgh's fight not only to guarantee another winning season for Mike Tomlin, but also keep their season alive. You know, both teams have been inconsistent as all hell, but I feel like in terms of the two inconsistent teams, the Seahawks have been able to find ways to win. And I honestly trust Seattle more than Pittsburgh in this situation. I got Seattle winning 19-17. Give me Seattle by 2 over Pittsburgh. So yeah, I got Seattle winning. I got Seattle keeping their seeds, controlling their own destiny entering week 18. But yeah, give me the Seahawks by 2 over the Steelers. All right, next game. Los Angeles Chargers, Denver Broncos playing in Denver. Denver, they could be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss. They can also be eliminated with wins from Kansas City, Buffalo, and Pittsburgh. They can also be eliminated with wins from Kansas City, Buffalo, Houston, and Indianapolis, and a loss from Jacksonville. They can also be eliminated with the wins from Kansas City, Houston, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh, and a loss from Jacksonville. Now, originally for this game, I was originally going to pick Denver for this game, but I've changed my mind because breaking news, Russell Wilson has been officially benched by the Broncos. Jarrett Stidham is now in at QB for the remainder of the season. The Broncos bench Wilson so they don't have to pay like $39 million guaranteed because of an injury clause in his contract, and they found a way to bypass it. I mean, we've seen it the last couple of years. I mean, it happened with the Colts with Matt Ryan, happened with the Raiders twice with Jimmy Garoppolo and Derek Carr, and now it's happened with the Broncos with Russell Wilson. And odds are, last Sunday, that was more than likely Russell Wilson's. That's probably Russell Wilson's last game in a Broncos uniform. But yeah, I originally had the Broncos winning, but if Russell Wilson was in. But since Russell's out, I'm changing my pick. I'm going to take the Chargers on the road against the Broncos. All right, the Chargers winning 24-21. Give me the Chargers by 3 over the Broncos. And I think the Broncos will officially be eliminated after this week. Broncos country, let's die. All right, now to our next game. Cincinnati Bengals, Kansas City Chiefs playing in Kansas City at Arrowhead. Cincinnati, they could be eliminated from playoff contention with a loss plus wins from Pittsburgh and Buffalo. While for Kansas City, they can clinch the AFC West this week with a win or losses from Denver and Las Vegas. Well, I have both the Broncos and the Raiders losing this week, so that one kind of plays itself out. But yeah, for this game, I was originally going to go with Cincinnati if Joe Burrow is playing. But Burrow isn't playing in this game, so that kind of takes that out. Plus, Jake Browning ain't it. And I don't feel like A.J. McCarron is that much better. So I feel like just because of that situation, I think Kansas City takes advantage of it. And I have the Chiefs winning against the Bengals. I would have gone Cincinnati if Burrow was playing, but sadly that's not the case. That seems to be a theme with a lot of the games I picked Cincinnati to lose this year. Where I would have originally picked Cincinnati to win those games if Burrow was playing. But sadly, this is not the case here. I got Kansas City winning this one 21-20 over Cincinnati. Give me the Chiefs by 1 point over Cincinnati because the Chiefs have had issues, have been inconsistent this year. But yeah, give me the Chiefs in this one by 1. And I think the Chiefs will wrap up the AFC West. However, I don't think Pittsburgh will win this week, so I think Cincinnati's playoff fate will go down till week 18. And now, we get to our final game of the week, the Sunday night game. There is no Monday night game because Monday is New Year's Day, and that is the Final Four for the college football playoffs. So yeah, because of that, there is no Monday night game this week, which is why we had the Saturday night game this week between Detroit and Dallas. But yeah, the Sunday night game. Green Bay Packers, Minnesota Vikings playing in Minnesota. Minnesota is eliminated from playoff contention with a loss plus wins from Seattle and LA Rams. And Green Bay is eliminated with a loss plus a win from either Seattle or the LA Rams. So effectively, If the Seahawks and Rams both win this week, then the loser of this game is officially eliminated from playoff contention. However, there is a scenario where if this game ends in a tie, and Seattle and LA both win, and this game ends in a tie, then Green Bay and Minnesota are both eliminated. Believe me here, I want to pick a tie for this so fucking badly. I want to pick a tie, but I can't go through with it. I want to go tie so badly. I want this game to end in a tie so badly. I have never wanted a tie so much in my fucking life. But I can't go through with it. As much as I want it, I could want it so badly. I just can't go through with it. But hey, we can all dream, damn it, right? But yeah, this is a question of which fan base do I not want to deal with entering Week 18. And honestly, Minnesota Viking fans have been so salty as fuck over Detroit winning the NFC North, while Green Bay and Chicago are like, yeah, congrats, you deserved it. And Green Bay and Minnesota just made every fucking excuse in the book, talking about how they're the only team that deals with injuries. Every excuse in the book you can name, they've done it. It's like, bitch, shut the fuck up. Every team deals with fucking injuries. Plus, it's too late in the season to pull the injury card excuse now. You got what you got. Next man, step up or step aside. And honestly, Minnesota fans honestly need to be humbled. So yeah, with that said, I'm taking Green Bay to win this one on the road against Minnesota. Plus, for Minnesota, there's been rumors that Nick Mullins could get benched this week and Josh Dobbs could get the start at QB. I'm going to take the Packers in this one on the road. I think Green Bay will have their season come down to Week 18 against Chicago. I got Green Bay winning 22-20. Give me the Packers by 2 over the Vikings. But I'll say this, though. If this game ends in a tie, not only will I laugh my ass off, I will make a trash talk video roasting both these shit fucking franchises. I deep down hope it ends in a tie, but it probably won't. But yeah, give me Green Bay by 2. But I would be happy if this game ended in a tie. I want to go tie badly, but I can't. But yeah, that wraps it up for the NFL Week 17 picks for this week. So in terms of clinching scenarios, I have Philadelphia clinching the NFC East. I have Baltimore wrapping up the first seed in the AFC. I have Kansas City clinching the AFC West. I have Cleveland locking up a playoff spot. I have Buffalo locking up a playoff spot. I have Minnesota eliminated. I have Chicago eliminated. I have not Atlanta or New Orleans eliminated. I have Pittsburgh eliminated, and I have Vegas being eliminated, and I have Denver being eliminated. But yeah, that wraps up for Week 17. Who will be in the playoffs? Who will be sent to Elimination Station? Tune in this week to find out. And for everyone that's fighting for a playoff spot, you have one goal this week. Don't get eliminated. I'm out.